I want to talk about the price of the Line 6 Helix Stadium. There's been lots of comments on other videos of mine about how expensive it is, how, I wouldn't pay that much to have it on the floor. It's far too expensive compared to the old unit, compared to other units on the market. Well, you know what? I thought today I'd put that into context. We'll think about the price of it, how much it is compared to the old unit, how much it is compared to other units, and all those kind of price things, but we're going to really put this into context. Today, all the big channels are doing their launch videos on it. It's the 18th of November 2025, and at launch, the prices are as follows. Sweetwater in the States, it's $2,199.99, so that's $2,200, isn't it? And here in the UK, at Anderton's, it's £1,980, so nearly £2,000. Okay, so we'll work on those prices rounded off. I'm not bothered about 1 cent or 20 quid. We'll just keep the maths simple. Because there are going to be different points of view and different ways of looking at this that will apply to different people, make sure you watch this video all the way through so you see all of the thoughts. Let's start by comparing it to the competition. Now, some of the competition is really, I'm just putting it in there because it's a floor modeler, and some of it really is proper competition. So let's have a look at prices. Now, the Stadium is $2,200. Now, remember, that's the flagship model. The Axe-FX III, which is Fractal's flagship model, is $2,499. That's a bit more, but that's a rack mount version. That slightly cut down version, the floor version, which is the FM9, is $1,800. They've got the FM3, but I'm not going to include that in this because it's too small. I don't think it's fair. The Quad Cortex is $1,800. The Boss GT1000, now we're getting into territory where, you know what, it probably isn't competition and relevant anymore, but for reference, that's £1,000, and the HeadRush Prime is £1,000. Did I say pounds? I meant dollars. Then there's the Tone Master Pro. Fender's new, it's fairly new, that one, and that one is $1,680. So that's in the ballpark, really, isn't it? And the Helix floor, for reference, at Sweetwater, the Helix floor was $1,300. So there's your comparisons. Now, the Helix Stadium is brand new, so there is bound to be, and it's acceptable and okay and quite normal for there to be a price premium at launch. That's not unexpected. We may see 1 or 2 stores dropping that price, but you know what? It's probably a fairly fixed price across all of them, across every country. I looked at the prices in the UK, and all the retailers that have got them are selling them for the same price. So there's where we sit in the market, if you like. It's the second most expensive modeler on the planet at the minute, okay? There's only the Axe-FX III, which is a little bit more, and let's face it, Fractal are a bit of a thing to themselves. But speaking of Fractal, the other outlying thing you could compare it to is the Fractal AX8. Now, it's an older unit, and that's coming in second hand at about 600 quid in the UK. I don't know what it is in the US, but it's 600 quid here. And for the money, it sounds amazing and does some incredible things and has well, not thousands, but an awful lot of amps and effects and things like that. So it's still worth a consider and not completely irrelevant. But since you can't buy one new, I've not put it in the chart. Now, let's have a think about something else. I want to think about the price of this compared to what the Helix was when it was new. So, when the Helix was new, the old Helix, not the new Helix, it came in at, in 2015, it cost $1,800 new. Now remember, that was launch in 2015. Like now, we've got a launch price of $2,200. So yes, the launch price is more, but we need to put that in context because that was 10 years ago, and 10 years worth of inflation does an awful lot to a price. So let's look at it inflation adjusted. I will compare the price of the new Stadium to the price of the old Helix at launch adjusted for inflation, because if you don't adjust it for inflation, then it's not a fair comparison. So what I've done is I've taken inflation data every year for the past 10 years and I've adjusted the price of the Helix to fit that. So this is what happens. If we start in 2015 at $1,800, inflation was 0.12%, which isn't much. So it only increased the value of it, or the price of it rather, by $2.16. Now we can all live with that. 2016, 1.26%, added $22. 2017, 2.13%, added $38. 2018, 2.44%, added $45. Then 1.8, 34. You can see how this goes. And we had years like 2022 where inflation was running rampant at 8%, and that added $164 to the price of that launch. So by the time you get to 2025, you're looking at a price of, adjusted for inflation, $2,384. That's how it adjusts to inflation. So if the old one was launched today, that's the price it would be. Okay? If it was next year, added in this year's inflation, that's another $74. That would have taken you to $2,457. So adjusted for inflation, here's the thing. The new Helix Stadium is less expensive at $2,200 than the old Helix was at launch. I'll say it again. The new Helix Stadium, adjusted for inflation, is cheaper than the old Helix was. Go figure that one out. Then I want to think about what it costs you over the lifespan of the product. So with a calculator, if we go 2200 divided by the 10 years of the lifespan of the Helix, assuming it has another 10-year lifespan, it may be more, it may be less, but that works out at $220 a year. If we divide that again by 52, that works out as $4.23 per week. Can you see that? Is it focused? So per week, and then remember, as time goes on, inflation will depreciate that, so it will feel like less and less. What's that? Is that the price of a cup of coffee? I don't know what a cup of coffee costs in America, but that sounds like about right. So yeah, in context, it's not that much. Then, if you sell your old unit because you're upgrading, you can probably knock $600-700 off that. So let's take $600 off the price of $2,200, which gives us $1,600. $600 divided by 10 is $160 per year. Divided by 52 equals just over $3 a week. It's not much really in context, is it? So have a think about those things. I don't know how you feel after thinking about it like that. Is it actually an expensive bit of kit, or is it a reasonable bit of kit? And yes, it is the second most expensive bit of guitar gear in the world, but the most expensive is the Fractal. The typical lifespan of the Fractal is 7 years. So we're sort of due for that now, for an upgrade, either the end of this year or sometime into next, for the Axe-FX IV. Now what the hell that's going to be like, I don't know, because the 3 is mega powerful. So that's the competition. How well will the Helix hold up? Well, you know what? Position in the market-wise, they were about the same at the launch of the Helix, and the Helix has gone on to do very, very well. So I can only assume that the new Helix Stadium will continue to do well and to sit in its place in the market. So, give me your thoughts on it. What do you think? Are you going to put your hand in your pocket and buy one? Are you going to do it now? Are you upgrading? Are you going to do it later? Or are you going to stick with what you've got? Tell me in the comments what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do me a hypey thing. I really, really appreciate it when you do that. And we'll see you in another video. Cheers.